All right, well, welcome back. And this time we are looking at the free sign or the free sign program for FSBOs. And not going to take me long to go through this, but this one is something that most realtors would never really think of because they're not in the lending business. I thought this about 12 years ago, and realtors would call me up, and a lot of times they were asking, you know, what they could do with some of the FSBOs out there. And I realized at the time that there was a campaign we were working on trying to land FSBOs and explaining to them that we could actually help pre-qualify some of their clients, even though they were FSBOs. We just want to take a look at the home and maybe have some way of collecting the leads. So back then it was called my free sign program, and all I did was create a sign that said to up to 100% financing, pre-approval in 24 hours. And then I put a generic number here. This is my Google number. And what this allows me to do is if I set up a Google Voice number, and I call clients or potential FSBOs on the phone and let them know right up front, yes, I'm a realtor, but I work with a lender, because when I was a lender, I didn't have to talk about being a realtor. As a realtor, you have to. Um, then back then it was just, hey, I'm a lender. I am not a realtor, and I'd like to help you pre-qualify some of the leads that come in that you're getting calls on, so that you don't have all this unnecessary traffic coming through your home with people that don't even qualify to purchase it. And so they were more than willing to listen. But now that I've converted a little bit using the realtor language, it's really no different. You call them up and let them know, hey, I'd like to, I understand you're trying to sell your home, and this again is for FSBOs, and I have a database of clients that I've been working with in the last 30 to 60 days that may be interested in your property. And they'll of course say, well, of course, a lot of people in their FSBO training say, well, I'd like to do a preview. Let me check out the place. Well, rather than say that, all I do is ask them, like, have you heard of the free sign program that a lender could sponsor for you? So a lot of times, and I just tell them very frankly, a lot of times I know FSBOs don't want to work with realtors, but they don't mind having a lender pre-finance, or correction, get pre-approvals for the potential clients or buyers for their homes. And they're like, well, no, of course not. And I said, this particular program is what I call the free sign program. So I was like, hey, would you be interested in the free sign program with one of the lenders I work with, so that they could actually pre-qualify some of the buyers? And they'll ask you, well, what's in it for me? So that you got to let them know, well, for me, not every person's going to be able to buy your home. Only one can. But if you're getting a lot of calls off of this, even the ones that don't qualify for your home might qualify for another. If they have bad credit, then these are leads also you definitely don't want to come into your home, and they can't do anything except create a lot more foot traffic, but they can't purchase this home. We have programs to help them get in better shape. So the bottom line is it's a win-win situation for everybody. I put the sign in your yard, my lender gets a bunch of phone calls, and we can help a whole lot more people in this community, including the people that want to buy your home. So if you're up for the free sign program, then absolutely, let's give it a shot. But here's kind of the language you might kind of learn and understand. Just remember, our service is absolutely free. We appreciate your input, and we will do our best to pre-approve every prospect that visits your home. So this is, again, the kind of language you're going to have to kind of interpret from the real estate side and say, my lender will do this for you. They will appreciate your input, and they will do the very best to pre-approve every prospect that visits your home or prior to visiting your home. They'll start by putting a sign in the yard with a phone number, pre-qualify for up to 100% financing. And they will also be willing to put directional signs from major roads leading into your subdivision, getting you maximum exposure. This will draw more people to stop and call. And of course, people who are looking for financing sometimes aren't necessarily looking for those houses. So, you're going to, again, this is a benefit to you that you can absolutely share with the seller of this home. You want to be as transparent as possible, because if you sound like you're trying to get away with something, then of course, obviously you're gonna make them a little bit leery of working with you, and that's not what we're trying to do. We want everything to be above board, and you just basically use the language that's in here to help them understand exactly what you're doing. So again, it's you get to learn this language, learn how to talk in a way in which people can know you, like you, trust you. I'll tell you, one of the biggest issues I've noticed with most real estate agents when it comes to trying to establish any type of conversation with a potential client is they speak way too fast, and they sound like they're nervous or anxious. If you want to fix that, just slow down. Slow down when you talk to the person that you're on the phone with, and then remember the Ford formula. You want to build rapport. I'll get into that when I talk about the ABCD checklist. But it's family, occupation, recreations, and dreams. Find one of those four things in common with the person and then tell a story about it. Not only will it relax them, it'll probably relax you. So again, this is the free sign program. And I bet there's a one big question everybody's asking: where can they get signs that they can put up to help them do this? Well, you don't want your sign to be as big as the realtor sign or the for sale by owner sign. So you let them know our sign's a little bit smaller than the normal signs, which in fact it is. It's a 12 by 18 as opposed to an 18 by 24. And just so you guys know, you can get these printed at UZ Marketing. I believe it's 100 signs for $99 as long as it's just one color. So they count one color, meaning the background is one color or doesn't count as a color. So blue in this case would be the only color that they're printing. Everything else would be just the background itself showing up underneath whatever the print has. So in this case, you're talking about a one color sign that's $99 for 100 of them. And all you got to do is use a design as simple as this one, come up with a Google Voice number, and you're on your way. Hopefully that's really helpful for a lot of folks who are trying to figure out how in the world they can win over some of the for sale by owners. And even with some of your listings, guess what? You can also put this sign in with any listing you have and get those same phone calls going to your lender. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that and learned a lot, and we will see you on the next video.